is up, everyone? How's it going, YouTube? It's Sparky Marky Mark here, and I'm here to do a little review of a certain piece. But before that, let's go back to 1994. Beginning in 1994, for the initial introduction of this certain piece, you have to take a look at this piece, the DW-6600, the Casio G-Shock DW-6900-1V illuminator. This is the first watch to have electroluminescent backlight. In other words, the Indy glow or the blue light technology. And of course, may look like from a long distance, you can tell that is a 6600, but the bezel and the straps look like the 6900 nowadays, except the 6600 had a plain button like this, what you're looking at, but the nowadays 6900 has the G button. And this came out in the summer of 1994, featured in a commercial with a bunch of guys. I don't know if they were Broadway actors or so, or singers. They just picked them and just did the song, lighting up their faces of the 6600 with the electroluminescent backlight, singing "This Little Light of Mine." With that, I'll leave it in the description box down below for that commercial, and also mostly Casio watch reviews. I'll leave you a review of that one, and then of the 6600, and also what else? In that particular year, I was 3, and and over the times of the years, of course, we've been getting variations of the 6600. This one is part of the Japanese domestic version. This one, when you press the button right there, it's gonna light up, and of course, it's gonna have a G button on. It's gonna have the logo of the G on it, and this is part of the Firefox, which is the DW-6900-1V Firefox. Then, of course, here's this one. I believe it's a little light red, and this looks a little bit Rastafarian. It's the Rasta color, reggae, red, green, and yellow color variations of the Rasta, and it's because of that and the band, and also again the Firefox. Then of course you have another one, which is the 6600BJ-2, released in the summer of '94. This one as well, the 6600BJ-5. This one's gonna have a green G on it when you light up the backlight on that. Then you have the 6620-2. This is gonna look a bit little camo colors, but when you press the button on this one, it's gonna have what it looks to be a scorpion. Then of course here as well, the 6220-3. This is a blue variation, a blue camo variation, and again the scorpion in the backlight. And of course what those models have include, we just saw the first ones of the Firefox, but also in this one, part of the glow-in-the-dark is the jelly band, of course, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, here, okay. This one glows in the dark too. So some of these right here, they glow in the dark, and of course they're a little bit of camo patterns, and also scorpion backlight. Then you have another glow-in-the-dark one, of course, part of the Firefox, and with a G button on it. I mean, with the button, and you press, and you have the what is it? The G on the back of the screen display, and of course it has bull bars. This is the 6630B-2, and then you have the 6630B-6. This is the purple, and of course bull bars. Then you have the 6630B-9. This is yellow, and it's part of the Firefox, and it's got the bull bars and a green G on it. So and this is a bit purplish, by the way, the G on that. But also, let's give a shout out to Mike835. This, Mike835 says that G-Shock should do a comeback with the bull bars on their G-Shocks. Seriously, they look badass, they look retro as it is, and yeah, they should bring it back for old time's sake. And as well as the original 6600, because it looks very cool. So also you have the 6640, part of the camouflage pattern models, of course. And of course, again, this is the scorpion look. And the ones you just saw, part of the glow in the dark ones, these came out during November of '94, at the time when one of my friends turned 4 that year, and one of my friends turned 5 that year as well. And of course, this came out in December, which was around the time of my friend's birthday. He turned 4 that year. And now we go to and one of my buddies turned 4 that year as well. I mean 3 that year in December. Another friend of mine. So here is the DW-6900. Now, if you take a look here, this is the this is all alphabetical order. Of course, the DW-6900-A, there's B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. Unfortunately, some of these are discontinued or they're very hard to get. J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S. I skipped one. I know I have an S somewhere in this part. Just to be clear on the safer side. S. I got S. T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. So yeah, but unfortunately the K and the I, they're discontinued, unfortunately. And then we go to 1995. Whoa. Wow. And of course, for this piece, here is the DW-6900-1V. Here you go. This is a bit of the close to the brother of the 6600. This case is the 6900, and the difference is the display. All right, that's what's the difference. But the same is the bezel and the band, except the 6900 the nowadays of these have plastic buckles. The 6600 has a metal buckle. And this came out in the spring of 1995, and it was a month before my 4th birthday that year. And also we still have intriguing with the 6695s. Oh boy, there's more, but this is the 6695D-9. With that, let's put some music. And this came out in December of 1995, right around the time of my friend's 5th birthday, and a month after November was my friend's 6th birthday. So with that, let's play some music. With Junior Mafia featuring the Notorious B.I.G. Now, let's start with this. D-A, 6695D-G, I, 6695D-J, K, M, R, S, T, Y, and I believe that's said. Even at the time, this was around variations. And of course, I'm gonna take this with me, and then let's go up a little around 95. Whoa, okie dokie. Then of course you have this one as part of the Winter G-Light. This came out in November, around the time my friend turned, another friend of mine turned 5 that year. 6, actually. So this is part targeting the snowboarders, of course, for snowboarders that year. This is the 6900 BD-1T. That's in red and black, and this is blue and black. 6900 BD-2. And then you have the 6900 BD-4T. All three are part of the Firefox edition. Then you have the 6600 BD-6T Firefox, and it's purple and black. And of course, if you look at these, again, snowboarders in winter. Skipped one. Then you have the 6900 BD-8T. This is like sort of like gray and black or something. I mean, gray and light blue. Because of the bands, of course, or you can just change them yourselves. Then you have the 6900 BF-1T. This is, I believe, what, like kind of like black and gray or something. And then if we go further this way to the other models, you have variations. And of course, these you're looking at here, this is the Tough Knickknacks. And I believe these were targeting, what is it? Other things of activities. And of course, we go to what appears to be the Thrashers. Of course, and it's dedicated for the, marked as Thrashers, of course, for skateboarders, I would say. Even part of the graphic novels or the comic books. So this came out in the spring of 1995 in March, at the same time as the 6900. This one is the 6900H-1 Firefox, and the 6900H-4 and H-9. This one is yellow, red, and then black and red. Yellow, red, and black, and then there's the yellow and black. But this is like all yellow, all red, and all black. But all three of them are positive displays. That's where they're nicknamed, of course. Let's see. Oh, and here's another variation. If you take a look carefully to these two photos, and here's the piece that I'm going to be reviewing in front of you all. Now, if you see the differences is the displays, and also you have the printings in different colors on here. So this is like yellow, orange, gold, and this is like white, but both have red letterings, which is the G-Shock, but the bezels and the band are the same. But again, variation colors. Of course, and of course there's, let's see. And the one you just saw was a Firefox edition. Let me see something. Okay. And of course, we had good films coming out that year. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the series was popular, and then it got a film, making a lot of money. And also Michelle Pfeiffer with the hit film Dangerous Minds, in which, of course, she's a Marine turned city school teacher, giving the inner city kids a taste of their medicines. And also Casper, of course, came out right before summer. And here's another variation of the Firefox. This is the 6900 B-9 Firefox. And when you look at all three together, including with this one, is because, again, the bezel. I mean, not the bezel, just the colorations. But the same look, but except this one has metal buckle. But of course, little different colorations, but the bezels and the band look the same. And what else? And also the first computer animated film, Toy Stories, came out that year, which got a lot of vibes from the public, including, give a shout out to Disney, first computer generated CGI film. And it got a lot of response. I was big on that movie, and I did dress up like Buzz Lightyear on Halloween. Also, Jumanji came out that year. Under Siege 2, starring Steven Seagal, and Clive Barker directed his third film, which was Lord of Illusions. Will Smith, Martin Lawrence as two cop duo buddies, bad boys, and then of course you have a video game adaptation we call Mortal Kombat with Lyndon Ashby, Bridget Wilson, and Robin Shue and Christopher Lambert. Also that year, Christopher Lambert was in The Hunted, of course, which is he's being stalked by ninjas. And what else? Jackie Chan with the hit film Rumble in the Bronx. You have the funniest comedy, Major Pain. And you have the Coreys, Corey Haim and Corey Feldman in the sequel, Dream a Little Dream 2. You have Mallrats. Bruce Willis came back as John McClane for the third time in Die Hard 3 with the Benjins. Then you had some TV shows like the Hercules series, Kevin Sorbo playing Hercules. Also that year, we lost English veteran actor Donald Pleasance, whom anybody knows who he was. He was a well-trained classic British actor. And of course, his career taken off ever since on other projects and very loved by the community. And what else? Whom, of course, we knew him as First Lieutenant Colin Blythe in The Great Escape, with some well-known actors who went on to have their careers launched. And of course, it stars Steve McQueen. Then he was, and of course, he plays as Preacher Quint in Will Penny. He played a maniacal father in that. Then was the villain in the James Bond movie Only Live Twice as Ernest Storfeld Blofeld. Then was as General Kalleckenberg in Knights of the Generals. Then, of course, was in Deathline with Christopher Lee. Then, of course, then worked in other projects over the years. Then was well known to the public as Dr. Sam Loomis in John Carpenter's Halloween. And of course, worked with John Carpenter again as the President in Escape from New York with Kurt Russell, Adrienne Barbeau, Harry Dean Stanton, and Isaac Hayes. And it was a hit film. And worked with John Carpenter for the third time in Prince of Darkness, in which he played Priest in that movie. Then was in Rasputin as Colonel B. Abrams, and then Vampire Venice as Don Alvice. Then reprised the role of Dr. Loomis in the sequels of Halloween 2. Also was himself/host in a documentary called Terror in the Isles, along with actress Nancy Allen, talking about the meaning of horror in horror films. You go with your girlfriend or just a group of friends to the theaters to watch horror. Then reprised the role of Dr. Loomis for the third time in Halloween 4. Then was Heinrich Spots in River of Death, and of course came back for the fourth time as Dr. Loomis. And worked in Casablanca Express as Colonel Batts, and worked in other foreign films. Then, of course, came back for Dr. Loomis for the last time in Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers. And also is the appearance of a young actor named Paul Rudd, but he's credited as Paul Stephen Rudd. If anyone knows Paul Rudd, he's now known as Scott Lang, Ant-Man. It was 20 years before he entered in the MCU, but he has a successful career in comedy films and other things, and of course got into the MCU. And as Scott Lang, Ant-Man in Ant-Man, and then came back in the sequel for Ant-Man 2. Then, of course, was in Avengers 4 Endgame. And also now he's gonna be playing the role of Mr. Gooperson in the new Ghostbusters film. So, so let's get back to 1995. Ghostbusters Afterlife. So let's get back to 1995, y'all. So this was dedicated in his memory, of course, but there are two versions of the film, one producer's cut and one theatrical cut. So might as well stick with both cuts. And what else? Also that year we lost singer-actor Dean Martin. Anybody knows who Dean Martin was? He was a singer, of course, but is born as Don Paul Crocetti, I believe, and of course collaborated with the group that he was associated with, Frank Sinatra at the time, called the Rat Pack. And of course he teamed up with Jerry Lee Lewis for comedy, of course. And also here's the Rat Pack, which of course he and Sinatra became friends in the late 50s, and they worked alongside with friends Joey Bishop, Peter Lawford, and Sammy Davis Jr. And they formed the Rat Pack, and also they worked together they performed together in a lot of shows, including in Vegas, and also they did a lot of plays, including they did films in Ocean's 11, Sergeant 3, 4 for Texas, Robin and the Seven Hoods, and it was a pretty fun career, if I do say so. Really, it was. And also he worked, of course, with Sinatra in The Cannibal Run with Burt Reynolds and Dom DeLuise, of course, and they worked together in the fort from 1947 until 1984. And it was very ashamed that he passed. And then also that same year, of course, there was the Oklahoma City bomb that had happened. It was on the news non-stop for like God knows how many months it was in 1994. And also there was the anthrax attack on the Tokyo subway, and then there was the Unabomber was sending his packages through the mail, or death threats in the mail or something like that. Then there was the PC, personal computers got developed. eBay was born that year. And also startup internet started going high that year, as I recalled. And also another thing that hit tragic that year was a younger kid by the name of Jimmy Rice, born as Samuel James Rice. Yeah, of course, Samuel James Rice was killed by the hands of one Carlos Chavez, whom of course was abducted and murdered. And of course he was arrested at the scene of the crime, and he was convicted, and of course he was sentenced to death. And of course Jimmy Rice unfortunately would have been 9 that year. I mean, he would have turned 10 actually, but unfortunately he died at the age of 9. As of now, he'd be going to be, in a few months, of course, like in say 4 months, he'd be about 35 years old, all grown up, having a life, starting a family or something. But he died too soon, unfortunately. So yeah. So the family and the father, I believe, was the director of the FBI or something. And of course, Jimmy Rice was born in Homestead, Florida, died in Redland, Florida. Really, he was too young, too soon. So the family, of course, was torn apart. The mother started a Jimmy Rice Act on behalf of the Jimmy Rice Act that was done by Claudine Diane Rice, and and to warn other offenders, and it was signed by Governor Lawson Chellis in May 1998, and became effective on January 1st, 1999. And of course, the mother unfortunately died of breast cancer in November of 2009. I graduated high school that year. I didn't know much about what went on at that time, and also the family was torn apart as well. The daughter, Martha Rice, committed suicide, unfortunately, in 2005 at the age of 35. She was in her teens when Jimmy was abducted, and also has a brother named Ted. Unfortunately, now right now as of already he's a personal trainer doing private lessons for his clients, and also for his abductor, Juan Carlos Chavez, was executed on February 12, 2014. And he hardly showed any remorse during his arrest or in court when the family was there at his sentencing hearing, even before he was executed. So yeah, and of course I was 4 that year. So let's get on to this review. Now when you look at this, definitely has a little resemblance to the 66, but the bezel, of course. And I'm just gonna take it right out of here, and before I show, I'm wearing one as well, but I got bull bars on them, and of course a compass. So the bull bars, you can get them from J&K as long as you know exactly what the model is for which G-Shock. Are you getting it for a 6900, a 5600, a GX? I'll leave you a link down in the description box down below to J&K. And also the compass, you can get them at Brass Pro Fishing. And what else? So with that, let's check on this piece. So this is a trigraph model. This is the second G-Shock to be a trigraph. And because the first G-Shock was a DW-6900, but it didn't have no incandescent micro light or any luminescent backlight. So let's take a look at this. So you got your alarms. You press right here on start stop. You're gonna have a vibrator and you're gonna have the alarm, or you want them both. But just leave it off. Then of course you have, which is my personal favorite, the timer. Of course. Then of course there's the stopwatch, and you can also do split reset, of course, on that stopwatch. And of course it's amazing. Also, this was featured in other films. Even of course was in Captain Phillips, which was based on a true story about a ship hijacking by pirates. Tom Hanks is wearing this watch in the film. And I'm not pretty sure other movies have other people wearing these, but it looks great. And of course, there's a little bit common with other G-Shocks in the early 90s. The 5900 and the 6000, they have the 304 strap, which is right here. Of course, it's on the DW-6900 as well, but that has white letterings on them. And then there's the 6600, then you have this, then you have the 8700s, then you have the GW-9000 from 2009, which you've seen that video, of course. And also, one more thing, illuminator, electroluminescent backlight. Very intriguing. When you have the 6600, you can press this button while wearing gloves, and this is the one with the G button on them. But the bezel is the same as the 6600, including the band, except the 6600s have metal buckle. These have plastic buckles, but I don't know, they're great. No lie, no kidding. So I'll leave you the links for mostly Casio watch reviews, of course, which he talks about 1995. And also another thing about that year is that anybody fan of sports, Joe Montana of the 49ers retired that year on April 18th. It was about 5 days before my birthday, and any fans that knows about this were very bummed out. And like, let's play that one right there. So anyways, be safe out there. God bless you. Before I sign off, follow my channel, link will be in the description, and like my videos, comment on them, and be safe out there. And also let's give some shout outs to Mike835, G-Shock Go, Mostly Casio Watch Reviews, Timeless Watch Channels, Bruce Williams, Random Rob, 10 TikTok, I believe, and all the people I'm subscribed to back there. Can't stand that blue light technology. Can't get that. So anyway, this is Sparky Marky Mark. Rock on with a G-Shock on. I'm out of here. Be safe, and God bless you.